and salute. Every topic on the table, every word in pursuit. We the voice for the ones that the world overlook. Turn pain into punchlines, life into the hook. Yes, in the chair, we breaking the mold. Every episode's heat, every message is gold. No gimmicks, no mask, just purpose and peace. When the lights come on, that real don't cease. Unpopular celebrities, yeah, we speak that truth so effortlessly. Live mic, no script, just energy. From the block to the base to the legacy. Unpopular celebrity. We ain't chasing fame, we redefining the game. Give light to the name that the system can't tame. Got the people tuned in, cause they feel our lane. It's the voice of the real, not a chase for acclaim. Mic check, then the vibe start to settle for a host. One stage and the truth is the metal. So before that show start, let the beat breathe steady. When you hear that name, just know we ready. Oh yeah, when you hear that name, just know we ready. Unpopular.
Welcome everyone to another Unpopular Celebrity Podcast with your boy here, Philly DC, and my co-host Pete, who's also the engineer. We have our other two members, Jessica Playa and Del Brown, who's out in the world doing their things. We are your Unpopular Celebrities. Again, we appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to make sure you're notified of all of our future podcasts. Today is going to be an interesting one. We got a great topic that we're going to discuss here real quick. We're going to talk about security forces. Just to put it in context, I was or still a part of the security forces family, as long in part with my partner here that's on the engineer. And there has been some issues going on at F.E. Warren Air Force Base, also known as the Northern Tier. So for you non-military folks, what that means is security forces is the U.S. Air Force version of military police that protects all of the personnel and the resources across the Air Force, including our most dangerous weapons, i.e. nuclear weapons. And so it's suffice it to say, it is an important job, and you have to put your most squared away, highly trained security forces members there to do it. And the other anecdote is security forces the largest career field in the Air Force. So that'll give you a little bit of indication of how security forces works and how important it is. But F.E. Warren has fallen into some rough times, namely the security forces squadron or group there. Been a number of incidents. One thing that comes to mind is they had the unfortunate death of an airman back in July due to an accidental firearm discharge, which I'll take that back. It wasn't accidental. There was a investigation done, and another security forces member who improperly handled his weapon and unfortunately ended up killing another airman, and he was charged and given his punishment. And then after that, you had another airman who was off base, who was messing with his own privately owned weapon, an AK-47. It went off, shot through the other side of the apartment and hit another airman. And then you had a couple of other suicides as well. So with that, there's always some scrutiny that comes after that about what caused it, who's the cause, who's the leader. And so in the military, you always have a squadron commander, deputy commander, group commander, but in this case, a squadron commander. Lieutenant Colonel Tyler Height, hopefully I pronounced his name correctly, is HIATT, or Hotel India Alpha Tango Tango for all you military folks who know phonetic alphabet. But he was the security forces commander at F.E. Warren at the squadron level. And we just found out 3-4 days ago, he was relieved of command. And so again, for you military folks, when they say relieved of command, it could be looked at as being fired. Military never goes into detail why a commander was dismissed. It's usually loss of confidence in being able to execute your duties. But in this case, there's word that the commander in question who was relieved had a disagreement with his superior officer on different matters concerning his unit. And so I'll pause there.
So yeah, like Philly said, this happened Friday. So but probably 2 or 3 days after you guys are watching or after this video is going to air. So very recent event that just occurred. And just to clarify, it seemed like the colonel, lieutenant colonel, just quit. He just walked in and just basically said that I don't want to be the commander no more. And the colonel, Terrence Holmes, the 90th Missile Wing Commander, or excuse me, let me it was David, I'm mess his name up, Lycan, Lyacan. He's gonna go ahead and take command of the group, but it seems like he walked into the group commander's office basically like, I don't want to be the commander no more. And they let him go, which is very odd when that happens. Being that we are in the military, you guys can look up military stuff all you want. We can't just quit. That doesn't happen. Can't just walk in one day. You sign a contract. Everybody knows this. You know, some people say you raise your right hand, but you serve an amount of time, 4 years, 6 years, whatever it is. Some are 3, whatever you can sign. And you serve that time. Now, once your contract is up, you could decide to quit or excuse me, leave, or you could re-enlist and do another 4 years, 6 years, whatever you want to do. So it's not like a regular job where I could just drop papers and leave. And that's one thing they always say about the military is not a place that you come to quit, right? You come to serve your country. That means not only quitting the Air Force, but quitting the job that you are given as well. If you are scheduled to, you know, do things that a lot of people don't want to do, deploy and go to various locations and fight for various different reasons, you can't just be like, I don't want to do that. You go do your job or what you're tasked to do. And then after your job is done, your contract, if you don't like to do it no more, you're obligated to leave. But you serve with honor, dignity, and respect. And you also follow orders of the officers, non-commissioned and commissioned officers appointed over you. Part of raising your right hand. So it seems that this is very odd that this lieutenant colonel was just able to leave. I'd like to read a statement as Stars and Stripes. But before I do, Philly, go ahead if you have anything to add.
No, go ahead, continue.
All right. So in the Stars and Stripes, and this was December 13th, 2025, it says, and I quote, height removal follows a professional disagreement over actions in the unit and was a result of his request to Holmes being his commander, in which Height, who's the commander that was fired, stated his inability to execute the duties of his position, further offering that he does not feel comfortable serving in the 90th Security Forces group, which is the group that he is responsible for the squadron that's under the group. Kind of confusing, but you guys can look that up. But that's what the Air Force statement, end quote. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, so for you folks that's not a military, this is not like marching into your boss's office and saying you quit.
Right,
and you
right.
just
Good
walk
point.
off the job. Doesn't work that way in the military. However, the group commander, and quickly, the group commander has authority over the squadron commander. So the group commander, who was Lieutenant Colonel Height's superior officer or his supervisor, in that fact, had the ability to say, hey, look, you may not like how things are being done here, but you will comply or else.
Correct.
Because then you have other things like the UCMJ being found in violation of UCMJ, disrespect as a commissioned officer or something to that nature.
Your election of duty.
Yes. But for whatever reason, during this time that commander was in command and whatever orders he was being given, he did not agree with him. And there was I assume a conversation had, and the commander superior officer agreed, like, yeah, I'm gonna relieve your command because your philosophies and mine do not mix or they don't match up. We don't agree. So I'm going to relieve you of command. And so when you relieve somebody of command, that is a serious issue, meaning for the folks who are still left in that unit. So as I covered earlier, that unit had already had several incidents that put a spotlight on that unit this whole year. some tough incidents, very difficult incidents. And so when the commander leaves, that means someone has to command. And so the group commander decided to send in his deputy group commander to go command. So to put that in perspective, that's like you being at your job and someone from corporate sends the vice president down to be your boss.
Mm-hmm.
You got to imagine that's got to be a little bit difficult walking on eggshells. Already got a unit who's in disarray because of all the stuff and the negative spotlight on them. Now they're being led by somebody they may not know or have a rapport with. Oh, for crying out. Why do we keep getting this is not good. I don't understand what the duck is going on,
I can hear
bro.
you. You're fine.
Now I can see myself twice.
Oh, I can hear you.
Hold on. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Jeez, man. Maybe it's the powers that be that did it. Did you get all that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, I'll pause there.
So just to put this in context, there's about 1,250 security forces personnel in the group. I don't know how many are in the squadron, but that's a lot of effing people. There has to be at least, I think, at least 500 in the squadron, if not more. It's a lot of people. And that's just security forces. That's not talking about the whole base. That's just how many are in the group. And I think there's 2 groups or 1 group and 2 squadrons. I'm not sure. I was never stationed there. But I think it brings to the fact of you can't just quit. And what kind of image does that look like to the rest of the airmen who are, and airmen being the worker bees or the enlisted, the lower ranking people, whether you're a senior NCO, or whatever, what kind of look does that give? Like, hey, because everybody's going to read this article. People are going to watch this podcast. So they're going to be like, dang, he just quit. And then people are going to look up to figure out what's going to happen to him next. Is he going to go get another command? Is he going to go to a different base? Does he have to retire? What's going to happen? And so it leaves whoever this next commander is, because now they put in an interim commander, which will probably last anywhere from a couple months to maybe a year max, maybe 6 months, 2 to 6 months, I'll say. And now a different commander comes in. And all this commander knows is the last commander just quit. So it's like, why would I want to go there? What was the reasons that he quit? How bad could it really be? Because you have a job to do. And nobody said in this job, is it going to be the yellow brick road and you're just going to walk down the yellow brick road and nothing's going to bother you and nothing's going to harm you. Like, you're going to have some trials and tribulations, as any commander does, I would imagine. And
let me ask you this.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Let me ask you this question then. Do you think it was wrong for him to suggest or offer to his superior officer, his commander, that he should step down from his duties as commander because he didn't agree what was going on?
No, I think you have the right to ask whatever you want to ask. I think it's wrong that he was given the option to leave. I think, back to your point, it's no, you will serve your time. Or what we will do is we'll look for a replacement, but we're not just going to allow you just to not be here. And your statement, you can have some leave, take the rest of the year if you want, and don't come back to work and really reflect on what you're saying, because you have been leading. And my thing is, you didn't just think of this Thursday morning, walk in Friday and be like, I don't want to be, this has been on your mind for a while. I would imagine something that big to say to somebody, like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, what are you talking about right now?
Yeah, I think you shouldn't be given what you want without consequence.
I don't even think there should be, I don't think in this incident, it's just like if I work for you in a different level, but we worked, let's say QC or training, and I just walked in and be like, this is exactly what I said. I don't have the ability to execute the duties that you have given to me. I don't want to be here no more.
I'll be like, cool, I'll let you go, but you're gonna take something with you.
Mm,
So that's what
okay.
I was trying to. That's what I was alluding to. Like, if you come to me and you tell me, I don't agree with your leadership philosophy, I don't agree with the orders that you're giving me to execute, I would respectfully like to resign and give up my command. Okay, I'm not gonna fight you. I may give you 24 hours to think about it, but after
Right.
that, you're gonna take something with you. You're not going to just punch out because you don't agree with what I'm doing. Unless it's illegal, immoral, it's going to cause somebody to get killed. If you just don't like the way how I'm doing my job or how I'm running or giving you the orders that you're supposed to enforce, I'll let you go, but you're going to take some with you. You're not
Right.
going to just go somewhere else and command in an environment that's more conducive to what how you want to lead.
Correct.
Maybe just speculating in his defense, the lieutenant colonel's defense, maybe that group commander was a micromanager. Maybe he felt like he was always under the gun because of all the incidents that happened. And to then, maybe he was never given the opportunity to lead. He was being his hand being held, and I've seen that happen. And if that's the case, then you kind of can't blame him. I mean, you've got several deaths in your unit. You got some suicide issues that that have happened, and that's going to cause some questions on your leadership.
Hmm.
They left you in charge,
Right.
but now they're going to give you a little bit more scrutiny and a little bit less rope to run your unit.
Right.
And if you felt like, and I've heard people say it before, either let me lead or let me go. And if that's the case, cool, but you're gonna take something with you. That's
That's
the
how.
way I look at it.
That's exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel. Uh, so I think it's odd that this was allowed to happen. Very odd. Um, I feel. I don't even feel bad for the commander. I don't feel bad at all. Like,
I won't.
hey,
Yeah.
somewhat kudos to you for admitting you can't do it, not trying to just fake the funk, because a lot of people will just fake it till they make it. Try to ride out their time and do the bare minimum and just hope nothing else happens for your time, and then just leave. So I mean, two ways to look at it. I think there was a well-known page that got reported that I just want to hear your opinion. You actually brought it to my attention, so I might say it wrong, but do you feel that the senior NCOs let the commander down, or the NCOs?
I think it's a mixture. I think um I read Juan Lewis' page. Juan Lewis is known as the fired up chief. He's got his own Facebook page. Pretty interesting. You should check it out. But Juan Lewis is a good dude. He mentioned on his page that he believed there was a accountability and a lack of accountability and discipline issue. And it was a failure of the NCO tier. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it starts at the top. Now, did the commander fire the weapon off and then lie about it? No, it was his airman.
Right.
Was the commander off base playing with an AK-47 that went off? No. Could he control if people were going to, potentially commit suicide or not? No. However, when you look at and you talk about lack of accountability and discipline, you got to first start with the senior NCO tier too. I mean, unless you served in the unit, and I have not, but you got to ask yourself, after the first incident, what was done? Was it as simple as the people who were involved held accountable and that's it? Then after the second incident, what was done? Was it as simple, we're going to investigate it and take care of it? I would imagine after the second incident, there's got to
Yes.
be some things put into place.
Right.
I think you were one of the ones that had an issue with, like, for instance, an example is if you're in a unit and you have one DUI, you deal with that individual. Then you have two. Then you deal with that individual, and then you might have a group huddle and say, hey, look, we're going to cut this out. Then after the third, then you completely shut down the unit. Ain't nobody's drinking. And
Right.
then we can, have the debate about whether it was right or wrong. Why should I be punished if I didn't drink or drive? It's not punishing you. it's kind of to refocus where everybody mind needs to be. Now I know the group commander at the time, I can't remember his name, publicly stated that he
Terrence
wanted the
Howard.
unit. I'm sorry.
Terrence Howard.
Okay.
Colonel Terrence Howard.
He wanted them to focus on firearm safety after what happened. But then did they do that? Did the senior NCOs did that? You know, do that, right? All the incidents outside of the suicides, as far as I know, we're dealing with young airmen.
Mm-hmm.
And then the NCOs, correct me if I'm wrong, NCOs, especially these days, are not that older than some airmen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to the days when, you know, myself, when I became an NCO, I was, you know, considered old.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you might have an airman who came in at 21 years old, and you might have a staff sergeant who's 24.
Right.
Hell, my son is a staff sergeant, and his troop is only 3 years younger than him.
Right.
So you got to look at the senior NCO tier. Speaking from my experience, you've had master sergeants so wrapped up in their career, they're wrapped up in operations, they just leave NCOs to their own devices. And then tech sergeants, they're so much in a rush to get promoted as well and please the master sergeant, they leave it up to the staff sergeants. And now the staff sergeants, they're so young, they don't know how to lead anybody. They don't know, hey, airman, make sure you here's a weekend safety briefing. Make sure you got a plan to get home if you're going to drink, don't drive. Make sure it is. That's what NCOs are supposed to do. But most NCOs don't do that. I didn't say all, but most NCOs don't do that these days.
I think the reason why is there's no, you know, a lot of people want to get promoted and there's no promotion in doing those small gestures because you could say I did a safety briefing and nobody drunk a drive, nobody got in an accident, nobody did this, did that. You know, everybody stayed home and sung Christmas carols all day. And that will not get you promoted. But put together a squadron booster club or a Christmas party, I mean, that's not going to get you promoted either. But that just looks better than doing these small so if people would think about what is the right thing to do to take care of people and not how to get yourself promoted, maybe we would have that discipline. Because to be honest, you're not going to get promoted by being the best disciplined section on base.
You should, but you won't.
Exactly. That's a good point. You should, but you won't. So that's why people don't do it. It's like, shoot, why would I care? I don't care if you drink or drive. I don't care if you get fired. I don't care if you shoot somebody else. Like, it ain't going to hurt me. It ain't going to hurt or help me.
Now, I think they care. I just think they only care because they want to make sure they don't get in trouble.
Yes. Yes.
Not because they care, because they don't want the dude's or the young lady's career to be ended.
Correct.
You know, I think you made a great point about promotion. But the problem is, if there was a way the Air Force or the military could change their optics when it comes to promotion, where it's not the most important thing. In other words, they push individuals to really focus on their troops, the people they lead, and not promotion, you probably wouldn't have too many people want to come in. Because I think the majority of people that's coming in, they're motivated by success and promotion. There was a time when I came in, there was pride in a senior airman being able to tell his staff sergeant or other senior airmen to say, hey, look at these two troops. These are my troops. Hey, Airman Council, hey, tell them what your general orders are.
Mm-hmm.
And I could spin them out. That was like his award. Like, look, my troops are squared away. NCOs would be like, my troops would never do that. Oh, no.
Right.
They see a troop come into guard mount, they wouldn't go into guard mount. First time I come to guard mount, the sergeant would come straight up to me, look me over, like, hey, what's up, hey, Council? What's wrong with your boots, man? They're not shining as they used to be. You know what I mean? You need to go get them doors squared away. It was like an embarrassment if their troop came to guard mount and they looked like trash. Because you know why? Not only would the other fellow senior airmen make fun of them, but their supervisor, the staff sergeant, will hold them accountable.
Right.
And the tech sergeant will hold the staff sergeant accountable.
Right.
And then the master sergeant will look at the tech sergeant and be like, you can't get your staff sergeants in order? I would argue that may be happening now, but at a lower tick than what it was before.
Well, some people say when you have those people like that, they're micromanaging, they're toxic leaders. You throw away all these buzzwords. To me, I just think it's discipline and respect because I'll be honest, I don't care if you yell at me. I don't care if you correct me. As long as it's valid corrections, you're not just picking on me, they're valid corrections. And then you set it and forget it. But if you're just holding it over my head forever, like, counsel, your boots are dirty. Remember on Tuesday, your boots were dirty. Last week, your boots were dirty. Like, bro, you got to set it and forget it. Set the rules, set the standards, let them do their job, perform the standards, and then forget it. Now, if they don't, if their boots are really still jacked up, like, bro, I just told you about your boots, man. What are we going to do about this? And you put things into place. But if you're just picking on people, like you said, hazing, I don't agree with that. But I do agree with, I think I really am firm to everybody wants to be held accountable. And everybody wants everybody else to be held accountable. But if you just pick and choose when you are going to hold people accountable or just hold nobody accountable, there's no thriving in a unit like that. But there is a balance. And back to your point, you have to have experience to figure out this balance. You might think you have it. I'll tell you, when I was an airman, 3 years in, man, I thought I could lead the whole squadron. Like, man, it ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. No, everybody could do this. But when I got promoted, I quickly saw like you jerks really set me up for failure because you made it look so easy. It's not that easy. It really isn't.
Yeah.
Now, if everybody had A+ star performing troops that just got it, it'd be easy. But we don't have that, just, in regular jobs and regular society. But I think to put a bow on this on my end, and I'll let you do your thing. I think it's kind of sad the commander was able to leave. I think it's kind of sad that he is leaving. And I feel bad for that whole squadron. And I don't know how they're going to recover from this. They're going to have to do a huge overhaul of PCSs and maybe some talent management to bring in some strategic people that can hold the line to get everybody together, some motivating people to be able to get the group together. You're going to have to really strategic. And I'm not just talking about people up top. I'm talking about middle tiers too. Your senior NCOs, your chiefs, your seniors, like really strategic talent management to get the people in the right places to get this under control. Because like you said at the beginning, this is our most dangerous asset that we are in control of. They are in control of.
Yeah. Well, let me make sure I make it clear. Not so much in control of, but they protect.
Protect.
It's
You're right.
the
You're
most
right.
lethal weapon
Yes.
we have in the United States arsenal, and they're charged to protect it. And so, out of the largest career field in the Air Force, that is the most important no-fail mission that you could have in the Air Force, and that's protecting nuclear weapon assets. I do believe they can recover. I don't think it will. I think it's more than just bringing in new people because they're not going to be able to do that. I think what they're going to have to do is find, because I believe there are people in that unit who are holding the line, who are disciplined and doing their job. But I think maybe there are folks there who are just putting their head down and just working. They see all this stuff go wrong, people doing stuff crazy. I think they knew probably how these airmen were, because going quickly back to the airman that discharged his firearm and killed the other airman, how he was able to influence 2 other airmen to lie about it on an official statement.
Crazy.
That just tells you right there.
Crazy.
So you need someone within the unit, people, to have as you call it, a come to Jesus meeting and say, look, damn it, you're getting paid to take care of people. Do your effing job. And if you don't, we're going to take care of you too. Because that commander who resigned don't have to worry about that squadron anymore.
Right.
He's gone.
That's horrible. But yes.
And so now you got a deputy commander coming down there trying to lead a squadron of people who lost their commander. Probably some people was with him. Some people there wasn't. And so he can't do it himself. And so the people who are already there, to your point, at the mid-level, the lower level, and at the junior and the lower level tier are going to have to do their job, whether it be 2 master sergeants who are squared away, they're going to have to do a little bit more. And out of the two master sergeants, if there's 20 master sergeants, there's only 2 that's doing their job. You need to find a way to hold those other 18 master sergeants accountable and some tough love, and do something to them too, because it's not right for a commander to resign and then the people are still there that are part of the problem. Nothing is happening to them, and that's a topic for another day.
Right.
When people see people within the unit or on a team that they know are not pulling their weight, and they keep covering up for them, and it continues to fester until they leave. Then once they leave, people say, "Phew, Master Sergeant so-and-so is gone.
Right.
He was a dirtbag,
Right,
blah, blah,
right,
blah."
right,
Now,
right.
why didn't you do something while they were there?
Right.
So, but I'm sure they can get it together. Shout out to the defenders out there in FE Warren. You know, I'm pulling for y'all, man. I've served in the Northern Tier at Maelstrom, at Montana Air Force, at Maelstrom Air Force Base in Montana. It's a tough duty working in the missile field, especially in the cold. And it is not the most desirable place to be in Wyoming. But if you look at it, like I said before, it's the most important, most critical job working in the nuclear missile field. So hopefully you guys find a way to right the ship. I'm rooting for y'all. But anyway, that being said, we're going to close it here. Unpopular celebrities, again, make sure you like, share, subscribe on your way out. Hit the notification bell. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think. Do you think the commander was right or wrong for tapping out and telling his superior officer he needs to resign? Or do you think he should have stayed? And then who do you think ultimately is the issue? Or who's to blame?
Right.
The senior NCOs, the NCOs, or is it just a bunch of young airmen acting like they don't know what they're supposed to be doing? And then also, what do you think is up with the security force curriculum? Do you think the discipline is lacking? Do you think they need more stronger leaders, more empathetic leaders? Put it down in the comments. Let us know what we got wrong. And we will see y'all on the next video. Happy holidays.